Every nylon string guitarist should have the book Pumping Nylon. It's a great technique resource book. It gives you all kinds of exercises for the right and the left hand. But in this video, I want to show you what I think are the 3 best finger independence exercises for the left hand from Pumping Nylon. Now when you play classical guitar, flamenco, Latin guitar, Spanish guitar, I just like to call it nylon string guitar because there's so many different styles and subgenres you can play. There's a lot that we need to do in the right hand, arpeggios, rasgueo, and lots of stuff going on there, but it's easy to neglect the left hand, and we can have a lot of problems in the left hand if we don't work on that, and it doesn't matter how fast we get in the right hand. If our left hand isn't up to speed with the right hand, we're gonna only be able to play at a certain level. The first great exercise for the left hand is opposing motion. So what's happening here is we're doing pairs of fingers that are just adjacent. There's 6 possible pairs of fingers, which would be fingers 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 4, 1 and 3, 2 and 4, and then 1 and 4. This exercise just uses adjacent pairs of fingers. So we're doing fingers 1 and 2. I'm on the 1st fret of the 4th string and the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Play them at the same time and then flip them over. And what we're trying not to do here is to play one finger first or to get one finger on the string first. Don't do that. Take them off at the same time, let them cross at the same time, and then place them at the same time. And it doesn't matter how slow you do this, the slower the better. So we have these 2, take them off, cross them at the same time, and then plop them down at the same time. When people try to do this, they end up going, you take them off and then they get one finger down first and then they put that down. Don't do it that way. We want to play both of them at the same time. These are triplets. Triplet. Go to the next pair. Next one. Now go backwards. Flip it over. One thing I'm doing here is playing as legato as I can. It's almost impossible to play truly legato. That means notes are linked together. We're going as opposed to staccato, which would sound like this. It's gonna have to sound like that if you're new to this exercise at first. We're trying to leave them down as long as we can. That means we have to move more quickly, and that just makes it more challenging and therefore a better exercise. What happens next is we start skipping strings. Strings 5 and 2. And then by the end of the exercise, we're way out here. Now, this is such a drastic motion that you might need to move around a little bit, but try to minimize that as much as you can. Pretty gnarly. I like to do this exercise in other positions with other string sets like this. If you like the way I teach, you can get all kinds of tutorials, courses, and tabs in my monthly membership. I teach music theory, improvisation, Spanish guitar pieces from the ground up. Check it out at theversatileguitarist.com/membership. The second really great finger independence exercise for the left hand is called the spider. It looks like this. It looks like a spider. What's happening here is we're trying to get this chromatic sound with these finger pairs, 1 and 3 and 2 and 4. So those are non-adjacent pairs, we could say. And we're trying to achieve this chromatic sound up here while only playing those pairs. So we have 2 C notes, 2 C sharp notes, flip these over so we have a D note here and a B flat. Don't worry about what the notes are, but it's just a pattern. As long as we keep that chromaticism on the 2nd string, it's correct. Now scoot it up. And again, try to play legato if possible. I like to do this on different string sets, like doing it in the middle strings, very weird. The book doesn't say to do that, but you can take these and use them as a jumping off point for doing them elsewhere on the guitar in different ways. How about trying it on the outer strings? Pretty wild. There's no way we're gonna get this one legato. And what I think is the best out of these 3 exercises is called Oder's drill, named after Oder Assad. Looks like this. And just like opposing motion, we end up spreading our fingers out to other strings, and by the end of it, we're doing the outer strings. So what's happening here is the same kind of chromaticism that we saw in the spider exercise, only it's happening on 2 different strings like this in reverse. We're trying to hear that leftward or downward chromatic motion and just splitting it up, starting with an octave. See how this top one is going da-da-da-dum, and on the bottom also? Really interesting. Hard part about this is we're gonna really want to take our fingers off before we should. Let them ring out as long as you can, like right here. I'm gonna put my middle finger down and then take your ring finger off. People have real trouble with that, and these two fingers are the worst fingers for everyone. They're kind of just not wanting to cooperate because they're joined at the same tendon, so we really need more work on those guys for sure, and this is a great one for that. Move it around anywhere you want. Like, don't take a finger off unless it has to come off. When you get to those outer strings, things get pretty wild, and luckily we won't have to normally do that. We're just trying to work on our independence in those fingers. So sometimes an exercise goes beyond sometimes what we're actually capable of, but that's okay. It's just upping the ante on our technique. So these are great exercises. You should learn these, and you should absolutely get that Pumping Nylon book. It's got so much more good stuff in there for your technique. Now that was the left hand. If you want to know what I think is the best right hand exercise ever, check out this video.